As we are approaching the end of the financial year, which is the same as our calendar year, I am going to update you on the church's financial position. As you'll be reviewing your giving as we move into 2024, I want to make sure everyone in the church understands the full financial picture and how finances work in the church. We have 3 different pots of money that I am going to talk about. 1, the general fund pot. 2, the restricted pot, which is mainly grants. And 3, the legacy pot. Spending from these pots is all connected to fulfilling our vision of being a source of spiritual hope, practical help and authentic community. The general fund is the pot all your donations go into. We budgeted a 50k deficit for the general fund this year. I will update you on what the deficit currently is. We don't tend to get any external funding for our everyday costs, so rely on all your donations. Thank you to everyone who gives. We can't do what we do without you. Here is a projection of where we expect to be at the end of the year for the general fund. We have received 50k more income than budgeted so far this year, giving a total of 392k, but have also had unexpected costs regarding maintenance on our buildings and AV work that needed doing. The biggest area of expenditure, 167k, is for the staff team, who are fantastic and work very hard to put the church's vision into action. The 136k includes all expenditure in relation to our activities and maintaining our buildings. As a C of E church, we have to pay the parish share of 77k, which is worked out by Wickham Deanery and mainly covers Danny being our vicar. We tithe our gifts from you to support missionaries and other projects outside of our church. This year our income is estimated at 392k and our costs 413k, giving us an overspend of 21k, nearly 30k below the budgeted deficit of 50k. As a staff team, we are doing all we can to spend your money wisely, so why have we purchased all this new equipment? All the items you see in these pictures have been purchased from grant money, which is restricted. As well as being used for children's clubs and by the youth, these activities are also used for community events and are available for other activities. So, if you'd like to learn how to use a PlayStation or try your hand at table tennis, now is your chance. An idea for Young at Heart maybe? Restricted funds are money that is given for a specific purpose, either from individuals or in a grant. It must legally be used for the purposes stated when given and is not managed by the PCC. We have received 15k in restricted grants so far this year. Grants also fund the lunch club, school supplies and the baby bank projects. This means not a penny of the money you give is spent on these ministries. We also have a legacy fund after a generous gentleman left the church 240k in 2022. Then 2 individuals left us a total of 70k in 2021. The PCC agreed to move all this legacy income to a separate designated fund, so it is not spent on everyday running costs, but used for bigger items. So far, these funds have enabled us to buy a sound desk, new locks, live streaming equipment, and paid for architects to advise on a potential building project. There is currently 228k remaining to be spent on a potential building project or essential maintenance. As the earlier slide showed, we are expecting a deficit or projected shortfall this year of 21k. We have reserves, unspent money from previous years, which were 62k at the end of 2022. Therefore, we can use some of these funds, so even though we are spending more than we are getting in, We are not in debt. I really want to emphasise that. We are not in debt. However, next year, if we carry on at our current level of spending, we will run out of money, as can be seen by the red box on the graph. The PCC will make sure we don't go into debt, but that means unless given increases, the church will need to cut back expenditure in some areas. This would be a real shame, as we want to keep building on our current activities in line with our vision, and cutting costs could threaten this. Going back to a slide I shared at the APCM, what do we do next year? We need to be able to fund ongoing operational costs out of our income for the year and not rely on reserves. We will only have 41k of reserves to use and ideally don't want to spend all our savings. Our only real option is to increase our income. In summary, please trust the PCC, who are spending your money wisely to fulfil St. Peter's vision. Please pray for wisdom and God's provision. We are very grateful to everyone who gives. If you don't, we would ask you to consider giving. Please prayerfully consider whether you are able to give more, either by increasing or starting a standing order, or by a one-off gift. If giving doesn't increase, difficult decisions will need to be made next year. If anyone would like more details or has any questions, you can email me at heather@loudwater.org or get in touch with the church office. Thank you for listening.